YouTube world? My name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. Welcome back to the YouTube channel for everybody. I'm so excited to have you all back here again. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Cinemacon video and we're going to be ranking all of these Sony announcements that they put out at Cinemacon. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started ranking all these upcoming movies. So the way I rank these is I kind of ranked based off of the information that we got from this. And basically, there's not much to it, is that Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney's rom-com, Anyone But You, is rated R. So we know Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney is in it, and we also know it's rated R. That's not exactly as interesting to me. I never exactly seen Glenn Powell or Sydney Sweeney's work. So, I think Glenn Powell's from Top Gun Maverick, I think. But besides that, I'm not interested in this rated R rom-com at all. So I tried finding an article for this movie, and I don't really remember anything talking about this movie, but I remember it was in the panel. But sounds kind of cool, but the title, I don't know. I don't remember much of them talking about this movie that much. Now, Love Again is also another film that I actually haven't heard a lot about, but I heard it's kind of like Anyone But You, that it's a rom-com and stuff like that, but that's all we really know from it. Now, The Machine is actually something that's kind of interesting. We heard at Cinemacon that they had a panel for it, and basically taught that it starts out as him as this guy as the Little Mermaid, and then starts talking about how important this film was to him, and that it has a lot to do with the Russian mafia. Mark Hamill's in it, but besides that, I don't really know what to expect from this movie. Now, No Hard Feelings, I think, is actually a movie that sounds pretty cool. I think this is like the first Jennifer Lawrence film that she's not playing like a serious character. She's playing more like in a comedy. It's kind of cool, but none of that really interests me. Like the one of the trailers opens up, "Hey, hi, can I touch your wiener, dog?" Like what? And, like, it's kind of a clever joke, but like cool. But I don't know. It was a little weird, but I am kind of excited for it. Once again, I don't know too much about this film, but the idea of it, the cast, sounds pretty good, but I need to hear more stuff about it to actually understand what this film was about. I hear it's based on a book, but that's all. Now, this is another film that I think sounds kind of interesting. It's based off of a book. This person is coming to direct it hard. I'm excited. I'm kind of excited for it. Sounds kind of like an interesting project. Now, I don't tend to watch religious stories a lot, but this one definitely works. I thought worked a lot. It sounds pretty cool. So, sounds interesting to me. I don't actually know much about the Knights of the Zodiac film, but the movie does sound pretty cool. The poster looks cool about these super people. Looks kind of cool. So this film is actually about the stock of GameStop, and it kind of has something to do with what happened during COVID and the games and all that. And it's going to star Paul Dano as this YouTuber. Also stars Seth Rogen, Sebastian Stan, Pete Davidson, Shailene Woodley, Anthony Ramos, Vincent D'Onofrio, Dane DeHaan, and Malia Harold. And the cast looks pretty interesting. The movie overall sounds pretty interesting as a Seth Rogen produced comedy, I think. Now, Napoleon, I think, is actually that film that is shot with war stuff. And the Napoleon film looks pretty cool. I don't know too much about the Napoleon person, but overall, sounds pretty cool. Alright, so I think I remember seeing the first Insidious like 2 years ago, and I'm excited for this new film. And from the footage that we got at Cinemacon, Cinemacon attendees saw an extended trailer for Insidious: The Red Door. The new footage showed an adult Dalton being haunted by a wide variety of demons while he's now in college. Patrick Wilson returns as his father, John, and is teased that he's now going to have to guide his son on how to travel between the further and reality. The man with the fire in his face returns to haunt an old Dalton, and the footage ends with him dragging him across his room in chains like he did when he was a child in the first film. From that footage alone, that description right there easily sounds really crazy to me. I'm actually kind of excited for this movie. Now, I don't know if this movie was really countered as a Cinemacon movie, but the idea of a horror Thanksgiving movie from this poster right here easily sounds so amazing. I mean, we got a horror action, Thanksgiving Christmas movie, a Thanksgiving action film. That sounds awesome. I want to see something like that, or something with killing and stuff like that. Would be awesome. So I never actually watched the Ghostbusters films before, but it is kind of exciting because they announced that Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon are going to be wearing some of the Ghostbuster jumpsuits in the film. All that sounds kind of exciting. I want to check out the Ghostbusters films because a lot of people say they're really good. So overall, I'm excited for this film, and I honestly want to go watch it. Now for me, I remember watching Bad Boys for Life about 3 years ago when it first, well, not when it first came out, but it was one of those movies that I watched during the COVID era, and I was a big fan of that. I remember I watched the first Bad Boys. Haven't seen Bad Boys 2 yet, but I did really like the first and third film. And with this fourth film, they didn't announce too much. They just announced that it's week 4 into filming, and then also Eric Dane is going to be the main villain of the film. Personally, I'm excited for it. I think the way the franchise has kind of turned into this better action franchise, I think is kind of cool. And I'm doing a lot of cool action with it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Just a little confused as to how Will Smith is going to do movies, especially since with all the Oscar buzz that's been going on in the past year. So, I'm excited for it, but I have some, critiques with Will Smith, though. But I'm still very excited for it. So they announced some stuff for Kraven the Hunter. I was excited for it from the start, but it kind of made me nervous because I'm like, if they're not making him a hunter, then how is the film going to even come into place? He's called Kraven the Hunter. But then we get this footage description, and Sony revealed the first ever footage for Kraven the Hunter starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. The trailer starts with Kraven stopping some poachers in the wild. This is confirming rated R, and the footage really shows it with Kraven killing everyone like an animal. He uses weapons, his hands, and even his own teeth, and he bites a poacher and spits out the blood. He also crawls around walls and pounces on foes like an animal. The main conflict is between his father, played by Russell Crowe, who was the one who actually raised him in the ways of hunter versus prey. The action features over-the-top gore, as Kraven uses all kinds of weapons from spears to bear traps to decapitate and chop up goons. The footage teases a mysterious new character played by Ariana DeBose as well. And they also announced that the Rhino is going to be in this movie, as they even say, "You want to know why they call me the Rhino?" And he transforms. That sounds awesome. I want to see that. I'm all for it. Just give me the movie already. I want to see it already. And they also announced that the trailer is going to come out in theaters during the summer. So I'm honestly really, really excited for this movie now. Now, The Equalizer, I've actually never watched many films of it. I mean, I've never watched any of the films of it at all. And the trailer that we got a couple days ago, I thought was actually pretty good. You know, it shows that the action is pretty cool. The story of him finding his final equal, that sounds pretty cool. Denzel Washington seems like he's gonna act his ass off in this movie. So overall, I'm excited for this movie. Now, this movie sounds incredible, where you have this guy who is a racer, and now it's sort of based on a true story, but it's also a person that's part of the game, that played the game, and it's also just racing action, and honestly, it just sounds like a big blockbuster that is real, but it also has true emotions in the characters, and you care about it. Honestly, I haven't seen a trailer for it, but it sounds awesome. Now, if you guys know me, I'm a huge fan of the original Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love these films, and so when they announced they're making a sequel, I was initially excited, and now they're finally getting it. The stuff that we've gotten in the past couple of years with the trailers and everything, I think it sounds awesome. And from the footage that we got at Cinemacon, it sounds pretty cool. It's with Gwen and Miles as they're kind of like falling in love, but also Gwen is like, every time Spider-Man falls in love with Gwen, it always ends up bad. Miles is like, there's always a first time for everything. Then they go to the whole Spider world and basically saying that they've been trying to stop incursions for a while now, but Miles can't really join because he is there's not enough slots in there yet. And I think this movie has an interesting story as to, like, the first film was all about anyone can be Spider-Man, but it's only how you it's only how you be Spider-Man that truly matters. So I think that's kind of an interesting story to take, and I can't wait to see this movie June 2nd. And that is my thoughts on the Sony panel for Cinemacon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.